Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am here with the amazing Jordan Samuel, the owner and creator of Jordan Samuel Skincare, which you guys have heard me talk about many times. He was actually in town, so I figured what better opportunity for him to come over and help explain his line to you guys. I get a lot of questions about what products are good for dry skin, oily skin, sensitive skin, what order people should be using them in, so I figured let's ask the expert himself. He also is an esthetician. His hands are on skin all the time, so it's not like just someone that's created something making things up.
Exactly.
Yes. So
hello.
Yes, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate it. I know. So I have his whole skincare lineup here, so we can go through all the products. If you guys watched, Caroline did an awesome interview with him while we were down in LA, which we had a great dinner. We all went out the night before and then we filmed. So if you guys want to get a lot more detail into Jordan's background because we'll talk about briefly too the names, I'm gonna have Caroline's video linked below so you can kind of hear them discussing back and forth. And we're gonna touch, I think, more on the products in this video.
Yay, sounds good to me.
Yeah. So briefly, if you don't mind, where, obviously like the names, everyone always says the names are so cute.
Right.
So where did that come from?
So the line was inspired. So my entire life from a young child to, 8 years ago at this point, I was a professional ballet dancer. Well, not from when I was a young child, but I was a dancer and then a professional ballet dancer. And a lot of actually what I learned about skin was obviously from aesthetic school, but also prior was watching ballerinas remove their makeup and actually like proper removal of makeup. So I was learning all those tips and tricks before I went into school where we learned those tips and tricks as an esthetician. So the names and the inspiration and the ideas are from my ballet career and watching ballerinas remove their makeup, and you know, they need that even tone for like a really good makeup application as well to be under stage lights and giving that sort of like ethereal quality. So it's all from my former life as a dancer.
That's awesome. And so then you got out of dance, right?
Yes.
And into skin.
So I knew early on that I was going to be in the beauty industry. I didn't know what, but I've always been obsessed with, when I had hair products and skin products and perfume and fragrance and body. Like I just love it. I love it. I love makeup. I love doing stage makeup on myself. And so 8 years ago, 8 years ago, like to the day, got my aesthetics license, retired from the ballet, got my aesthetics license, and always knew in the back of my mind that I wanted to have a product line, but I didn't think it was going to happen as quick as it did. But there was a few wonderful things that led to it. But
sometimes it's good too, because sometimes we have these ideas and you just need that little push.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Something that just kind of pushes you over the edge, and you're like, oh, I can do this. Start off small with a couple of products, and then you can just build from there. And
funny enough, the push was that it was so expensive for buy-ins with brands.
Yeah.
So I would see brands that I really wanted to use in my practice, and it was like, well, it's going to be $10,000, which if you're a spa, that's one thing with but it was a private practice.
Yeah.
I worked at a spa, but this was going to be for a private practice. So things like that, I was like, well, at that point, I can start creating my own line. And that's exactly sort of how the push came.
It's something I find interesting, as I was talking to you about this earlier, is when you're formulating your products or something, because I know there are some products that I love that I'm like, oh, I just wish I could remove like the fragrance out of this, or something that was like irritating, because I'm just thinking, what purpose does it really like serve? And we could probably add something different that's not going to be a skin issue for a lot of people. So how do you, when you're formulating your products, is it holes in the market you feel like, or is it products that you know like, oh, I kind of really liked the way this felt, but it was like heavy in fragrance and irritated people's skin?
Exactly. So I actually do have to go back to my dance career, because Twyla Tharp, who's a famous choreographer now, but dancer, she's this excellent quote that was when she was creating ballet work, and people would be like, that seems like it's been done before. Her quote was, everything's been done before, honey. And it really is true. You know, even if you think about like the iPod back in the day, it was a Walkman. It was a spin-on Walkman, but it was a Walkman, which before that there was something, before that there was the record player. Like everything had a version, it's been done before. So with my products, while I still think they're obviously very creative, it is something like, this cleanser is amazing. Why is it full of fragrance? Why is it full of 5 or 10% glycolic acid? Or, you know, like... So it is seeing something and being like, oh, you know what? This would actually be a killer cleanser or a killer serum without this or with this or a higher percentage of this. And so that's definitely sort of the start. There are some holes in the market, but it's sort of just about reinventing and rethinking how people use and combine products. And but yeah.
One of the things I think is so cool about your line too is I find a lot of times there's a brand creator that has an idea and they go to a lab and the lab completely formulates it, but they're not necessarily the ones with their hands on people's skin to see the reactions, to see how it performs. So that's one of the things I love about your line. I think why all the products perform really well, it's because you can test them and be like, maybe this is too drying, or less of this or more of this.
And we've had, I mean, wonderful, but also like awful, not awful, that's dramatic, reactions with, I go to the lab with my idea. The chemist I work with, I love her, and then they will send back samples, and I start using them on myself, but also on my customers and clients, and during the facial, and it'll be like, oh, your face is turning bright red.
Yeah.
And then we're back to the drawing board.
Yeah.
But it is, it matters, and you have to be, Lorraine Massey, who I know we've talked about, the original founder of
I love Diva Curl.
And she's now coming out with Curly World. It's her own. She's now on.
I'm on it because I have her, the Low Poo and the Delight, and I loved all that stuff because I used to work for Cosmoprof.
Oh,
I was a DSC for them, and I covered, and I had a couple, it was like curl girl only salons that like specialized in cutting curly hair, and they carried only her line exclusively.
And now her new Curly World. But she always says, and she says the same thing with hair products too, and it would be the same exact thing, that we're in the trenches, but it's true. It's like, I feel like I'm on skin working. So how something feels, how something absorbs, how something reacts with the skin, it's important to be there, touching, feeling, looking at skin.
Yeah, I think that's... You kind of think it'd be common sense, but you're like, no, that's like the number one most important thing, because some brands get so big, like even makeup companies, they'll come out, all of a sudden they're just mass producing these palettes, and it's like no makeup artist has any say in it anymore. People are just picking colors from a Pantone book, and it's like not anymore about the artistry. So like the fact that you're so hands-on with skincare is... It's
very true.
Yeah.
It's very true.
Yeah. So let me ask you, when you're developing your products, like, how does your train of thought go for it? Like, what was your first thing? Like, what was your first product that you came out with?
So first product, should I pick up?
Yep.
So first product was, which of course now it is called After Show Treatment Cleanser. It was originally called Plie. But this, so And this is, I put a little toothpaste squeezer on it because I want every ounce out of this.
I
love it. And I like seeing the sizes next to each other too. Mm-hmm. So good. But this started with, I knew that I wanted to do a proper makeup removal cleanse, and I wanted to go a little bit, I love oil cleansing, nothing's wrong with a true oil cleanser, but I wanted a texture.
I love the gel. That's what I like, that jelly texture. It's really nice.
And it started with, actually, it was a current dancer at the ballet in Seattle, and she came in for a facial, and she removes her makeup like normally. I think she uses the wipe, but then she does like a cleanse afterwards, but not an oil-based cleanse. And I was doing what's called ultrasonic exfoliation on her, and it's this little dull spatula, and it vibrates 28,000 times per second, and it removes the dead cell, and it cleans out the pores, and you just wipe it between each swipe. And as I was wiping, she had no makeup on her skin, but makeup was coming out of her pores. And it was after a run of shows, and I was like, what are you using on your skin? And I'm like, we need to do, like, I want a very, like, efficient, also easy to travel with in a tube, but something that's really going to melt down, dissolve, remove the makeup, the SPF. And so that's exactly where this started from. That was, that moment to this was the, like, catalyst for the whole thing.
Well, and a lot of people, so we talk about this too, is a lot of times people with oily skin think that they want to avoid oil, which is not true, and we've talked about this like attracts like. So if you're wearing heavy makeup or anything, an oil cleanser is going to help remove and kind of bind to all those products to help you remove it off, and it's not going to strip your skin, and it's not going to get those signals if you're using those really harsh foaming cleansers. Like SOS, produce even more oil because now our skin is stripped.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And it always makes me nervous because I think that sometimes customers aren't used to this experience.
Yeah. They're used to foaming.
Yeah.
Because prior to me using like a jelly cleanser, I was kind of thrown off a little bit. I was like, because I was using the Clarisonic too, but I actually love it on, I'm going to show this too. I love it on these microfiber, and he has these on his site as well, but these are larger than the ones that I was normally using, but they're just so plush and soft. It makes the experience so nice too.
And for people with oily, I mean, I think these are a must for everybody, but for people with oily skin, it's like a magnet. So it really removes the cleanser. It gives them the facial quality experience of an oil-based cleanser being removed with a cloth. So,
and I love this. I actually use this as my first cleanse because I'm going to we'll talk about another product in a minute, because I like balms, like thicker balms to remove my makeup, just because I wear like a full a full-on face. And I've used this and it totally will remove everything, but I just like that thicker balm that I can start massaging in and it gets more oily or like liquefied. So this was your first product.
But this was the first one.
This was the baby. This was the baby. I love that. Yeah. So here, I'm going to give you that. I've almost used all of this.
I love it.
I like the smell too, because even though you're not adding fragrance into your products, like that smells amazing.
Right, I know.
I don't know what it is in there that's smelling amazing, but it smells amazing.
It's 2 aromatic extracts, and we actually are trying to get it into more products, and because they're aromatic extracts, the scent doesn't really, it's not like a fragrance, so you can't like translate it over into. So we keep going back to the drawing board and trying to come out with more products with that scent, and it doesn't always work, and we've been a little, and same thing with that too.
But it's better to not have the fragrance.
Well, of course.
And that's always hard, I find, for consumers. Like my mom works in the beauty industry, but there are certain products she's like, I won't use that because it smells terrible on my skin. Nothing from your line, but it was actually like, I loved Sunday Riley Good Jeans, and she's like, it smells like spoiled milk, I'm not putting that on my face. She's like, I love what it does to my skin, but I'm not going to use it. And I'm like, Mom, you know better. She's like, nope, it's unpleasant, I don't like it. So some people, they want that heavy fragrance.
Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah, I'm the opposite. I'm like, I actually, if it's doing good for the skin.
I've told people, I'll rub cat pee on my face. Yeah. If someone said like, oh, this will do, it probably actually would be amazing maybe. Gotta figure what's in there.
Right.
You never know.
Is it acidic? Is it acidic?
It's acidic. I'm like, you never know. Okay, so this was a newer baby of the line.
Yes, yeah. This is actually not even that old. It was September of this year. No, last year, but yes, whatever. You get the point. But yeah, so I wanted to do a balm. You guys wanted a balm. And I wanted to do something. So the Aftershow Treatment Cleanser Plie has fruit acids in there. So I did want to have an oil-based cleansing alternative for a drier or more sensitive skin type. Or somebody who just prefers the texture of a balm. But the main point of difference with this is there's no fruit acids, there's no citrus extract. So it's going to be gentler for somebody that is very, very sensitive, or people who just don't want that. And, and then again, same thing with the texture. It's a balmier. I know, I'm thinking of like it's balmy out, but
balmy. Thicker.
Yeah. That's a thicker texture for really getting that, even though you can get a massage with both, but sort of like you talked about.
I like that because it liquefies more. And for me, my main test is going over my eyes.
Yes.
That's why I prefer something, because something that's a little more gel, sometimes I can actually get in my eyes.
Right.
But like there's something about the balm that I can just go over without like tugging very much. It'll get rid of my waterproof mascara and everything. And then I can go in with your large, like nice warm cloth and cleanse it all off. And then if I need a little more exfoliation, I always use this side on my lips.
Oh, love it.
Yeah. No, it's a great idea because it's not... I used to do like the little toothbrush that you keep to the side with really soft bristles, but it's still tearing your tissues on your lips off.
Yeah, I know. It's like, I started to do that too back in the day, but yes.
But
yeah, so that was sort of the catalyst for this product. Same exact idea of melting that makeup, melting SPF, but having an option for people who wanted something a little bit balmier. Or... gentler, no fruit acids. So that was the catalyst for, which is why I call it the after show too. It's sort of that after end of day, even though something I just want to interject here because a lot of people think that like, especially like not necessarily an oily skin type, but a drier skin type, this can be your first cleanse, second cleanse.
Everything.
Like, it can be everything. And people are so hell bent on like, no, we have to follow it up with something else or it's not like, settle down, please.
Yeah. Well, because dry skin especially, I notice the more... I don't use any foaming cleansers anymore at all because I had some that were lightly foaming that I put on my Clarisonic, and I know Caroline, we've talked about that too, I know Caroline doesn't like it, but I use one that's non-foaming and just gently, I have the sensitive head on there because I do wear so much makeup. It's like I kind of need that help to get like everything off, but I can use, and we'll talk about the other cleanser too, I can use all of them morning and night, and they're not drying my skin out.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's what you don't want. You don't want, where people mistake, they think that like tight feeling means they're clean. You've caused all these micro cracks in your skin from drying it out, and then your first reaction is to want to put a moisturizer on top, and now you've sealed in all this bacteria on your skin, so people start wondering like, why am I getting breakouts? What's going on with my skin? It's like, you're overstripping it, don't do that.
Cleansing is the most important. Narita Joy, a facialist that I see down in LA, she said 50% of the regimen is cleansing because if you screw that up, you're like
Yeah, because then you're prepping your skin for everything else it's supposed to receive too, right? So if you're throwing off your pH of your skin and then following up, it's pointless.
Or you've created that dry slate and you're trying to put a serum in you're hoping to penetrate deep, but yet it's only taking care of that surface dryness. Mm-hmm.
You know, I always use the example of Arizona. So when it rains in Arizona, you'd think, since it's so dry in the desert, that it would just suck up the water, but it doesn't, because it's like that tough, hard top layer. So we would get flash flooding versus somewhere like in Seattle, where you live, it just absorbs right away because the ground is conditioned to do that. So same thing with skin.
That's very true. I like that. Yeah. That's a really good analogy.
Yeah, because then when people think of that, they're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Someone lived in Arizona and it flash floods.
Dry slate, it's not. I love that.
Yeah, that's a good one. So I forgot to mention too, on the after show treatment, that this does have light fruit enzymes in there to provide some exfoliation, but it's nothing that's going to be like make your skin really red or hurt you at all. Yeah, and I can use this because I do like some acids, as you guys know, and this has never bothered me. To use that.
And it shouldn't. Again, if you are super sensitive, you're going to come here, but it's it's nothing that's like. You can use it, and it's a good question because people ask if they can use it every single day or twice a day. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. You're removing it, so it's not sitting on the skin, but it's in such small, light percentages that it's not going to affect or really.
Yeah. And so now we have the new baby, the new addition to the family that I've been using, and I love this. I was actually really scared just because since I am dry skin, salicylic acid sometimes can dry me out. And I did get one question before we talk about this. Someone was asking, I'm not sure if you're comfortable, they were asking what the percentage.
Oh, so so it's a good question. We don't give the percentage because the percentage is under the 0.5% like active drug amount. So, which is why you're not having any issues with it.
Oh, okay, perfect.
So we wanted it in there like as a touch to lightly buffer the surface, but nothing crazy. Again, something you can use twice a day, every day, and to be slightly anti-inflammatory. You know, salicylic acid, like anything, you know, different percentages of different ingredients can have sort of sometimes multifunctional. Properties as well, and salicylic is one of those. So it's to be lightly anti-inflammatory with the cucumber and chamomile and sort of take down any like irritation or sensitivities and lightly exfoliate. So it's under 0.5%.
Yeah. Well, I noticed because I was getting some blackheads on my nose, and I noticed that I just went through and kind of like scrubbed through on there, and it actually got rid of them in a couple days. And I'm like,
Yeah.
So let me ask you now, because I know we're going to get this question from people while I lean forward. Obviously, I mean, besides the texture what skin type should use what, would you say?
So, first and foremost, these two, the after show cleansers, are your oil-based cleansers. So for most people, that will be a first cleanse. Again, like I said earlier, you can use it anywhere, first, second, depending on your skin type. But for most, these will be your first cleansers. Oh my god, first cleansers. This will be morning time second cleanse. Again, these can be two, but this is in a more traditional setting. This is a water soluble gel cleanser. It's not going to be your heavy makeup remover at all. If you're wearing some light makeup and light SPF, you can do a double cleanse with this both times with a cloth. You'll be great. But heavy makeup, it's not going to bust through that. So this is going to be more for morning time and second cleanse in evening, or your all-around cleanser for a more oil combination skin type. Great for an acneic skin type because it is cleansing without stripping. So we're not doing that surface dryness thing. It's water-soluble, non-foaming gel cleanser. There's zero oil. There's a touch of salicylic acid. There's anti-inflammatory ingredients. Completely unscented. So that's going to be this baby. This baby, I would say, is almost ideal for most. As a first cleanser, especially. As a first cleanser, especially. As a second cleanser, there's going to be, maybe more of the drier skin types. If you're super sensitive, maybe not for you, or super acneic, maybe not for you. But otherwise, you're pretty much going to be okay with that. And it's now in a travel size as well, so if you haven't tried it and you're unsure, you can get the little baby. And then the balm is going to be, again, for somebody who either prefers that texture or for a very sensitive or dry to very dry skin type.
I love this. This is my all-time favorite morning cleanse. And I love it as a first cleanse. I mean, I can use it again as a second, but I love because it's almost like prepping my skin for my makeup and the rest of the skincare that I'm following it up with, because I'm already leaving without that tight feeling.
Exactly. And it's just nice. And the way you're actually holding them is,
I don't feel tight with this either, that's what I was concerned about. I'm like, okay.
And that was crucial for me to create that water-soluble gel cleansing experience for a oily combination, normal, all skin types, but primarily those, or somebody who doesn't want to use an oil cleanser. but without having that dryness.
Okay.
But the way you're holding them is actually great because this baby is sort of in the center that most people can use.
Yeah.
And you have this for like the drier sensitive and this for the more like oily combo. So it's a lovely little...
Yay! He has everybody covered.
Yes.
I'm picking up in skincare steps of how I would do it, so.
Yeah, no, it's actually perfect. It's
Yeah.
perfect, yeah.
So now we have the Hydrate Mist. So can you actually just tell a difference between this? Because I think some people were thinking that this was just poured
Yes.
into this.
It is.
Okay.
We go a little bit... I can hold them. Too.
Yes.
Okay, so Hydrate Serum was the second product that I created, and it was based on... So as an esthetician, I was seeing the facial oil craze, which... I love oils,
Yeah.
but I was seeing people not hydrate their skin with true hydration, hyaluronic acid, and humectants prior to that step.
Yeah.
So that was where that came in, and then thinking about it as a dancer, knowing that if we weren't truly hydrated, like from the inside out, like our bodies weren't working properly.
Yeah.
Same with your skin. If you're not hydrating the skin properly, same exact thing. So aloe, glycerin, hyaluronic acid, cucumber, tamarind, passion flower. Yes, a lot of the same ingredients in here. However, it's basically serum and mist.
Yeah,
the
this
concentration
is
in here is just, it's a much higher percentage of hyaluronic acid of the cucumber, of the tamarind, of the passion flower. The base is aloe. There is hexapeptides. There is the sodium ascorbyl phosphate, the vitamin C.
Yeah, you have a
touch,
stabilized form there, which I got a lot of people asking me because I used to love, I used to use Obagé's vitamin C.
Yeah.
But that turns before I could even use half the
Yeah.
bottle. So I'm like trying to pour half in a dark jar, leave it somewhere else. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's just way too much effort. But I know a bunch of you were asking me because I talked about like the LAA, how that can turn really quickly because it's water soluble and exposed to air or light or anything like that. You'll start to notice that dark orange tint, which means it's changed. You won't see that with this because it's a derivative and it's stabilized.
And important note too, because I get this question a lot, is this is not a vitamin C serum replacement.
Yeah,
it's
it's
a
just
good,
an
like
add-on.
I personally have sensitivities to a lot of vitamin C
Yeah,
products. So for me, this is like a light antioxidant in there in a hydrating serum, but it's not a strict vitamin C serum. So it's a lower percentage, but it's stabilized. We are working on, because people I know are concerned about, but for all the packaging, this is going off on a tangent a bit, but we're trying to get some custom packaging, which will be nice and fancy and lovely.
But I still like this though because this looks clean.
Well,
like, and you've seen my bathroom.
no, I know,
I like
I do,
all the white.
yes,
I like
yeah.
white everything. So
Yes,
I like
exactly.
that if I can have this on my counter, it's not like a hodgepodge of like all these different bright
Yes.
colors. Which I'm not saying I love the bright colors,
Yes,
but
me
I'll keep
too.
those in my drawer to hide them.
And we are going to stay in the same like genre of it'll
Yeah.
just, and if we don't, then they're going to stay in this because it has to be clean and crispy.
Yeah.
But so mist is a humectant rich mist, but to the point, the hyaluronic acid in this cannot hold a flame to what's in the serum. Still great and still in there as a humectant, but this is a mist that you could use as a toner, you could use as just a simple mist, or you could use as a throughout the day mist because it's rich in humectants.
It feels so good to refresh your
Yeah.
makeup too. Like I was carrying this bottle around in my purse and you could hear like clinking because I also have a measuring tape in my purse right now since I've been moving, and everyone's like, what is the weirdest thing in your purse? I'm like, I have a measuring tape and a bottle of facial spray. They're like, okay.
That's what it does.
Yeah.
But red seaweed, so there are some different ingredients too. Red seaweed, which humectant rich. Hyaluronic acid, you have the cucumber, tamarind, passion flower, and then it's a hibiscus hydrosol base, which I do love hydrosols. A lot of people can be sensitive, again, back to the scent thing. But hydrosols are an acidic pH at base value, so you don't have to have any pH adjusters, which is fabulous.
Yep.
I think it's like a 3.8 pH, not the formula, but the hibiscus hydrosol by itself, which is awesome to start out with. But yeah, so this inspired this, but this is not a watered down version, but it's just sort of your toning step, your refreshing step.
Yeah.
I wanted to call it Hydrate the Mist as a little nod to the serum,
yeah.
but as you would with anything, a serum is concentrated serum.
And I feel like these work the best paired too, because
Yes,
it's like you're sandwiching moisture.
Exactly.
Like a spritz, this, and another spritz.
Absolutely.
Because
Yep.
then the moisture on your skin is helping draw in whatever else you're putting on top.
Absolutely. Lovely. Yay.
Love them both. This has become my favorite product in your line. Well, actually, no. I like all the cleansers too, but I've been loving this because I test so much skincare. My skin can go crazy sometimes. And I'm not a fan of my prescription strength retinol anymore just because I got my skin to where I want it to be. And I've had microblading done on my eyebrows 2 times, and they've commented like, your skin isn't as thick because it's not as tough. So I'm like, okay, I don't want to go overboard to the point where I've seen people where their skin looks just completely shiny. and really like glass-like, but not in that like trend of Asian skincare where they're like going for that like really hydrated foundation look. It almost
looks
like
the opposite.
Yeah, it almost looks like it's stretched really tight and thin. So I love using this because so I'm not going to mention the brand around there, but you guys used to hear me talk about a retinol that was housed in an oil, and for me that was something I had never seen before, and it was genius. What I didn't like about that one is that they had added dyes. Now, one of the ingredients was blue tansy, but I think they added so if you read the label, the last couple ingredients are added dyes. So I asked them, why did you do that? And I got a few different answers. One sales associate told me it was so you knew to use it at night, which I was like, that doesn't make sense. The second one I got was so you know when you're done rubbing it in, so you don't see the blue, which I'm still like, why would I want to use blue? Which actually I went to an esthetician and they were like, what have you been using on your skin? Because they could see blue.
Oh, really?
Yes, in my skin. And I was like, what do you even mean?
Oh, wow.
And then I got one other person giving me the answer that it was a UV shield. Now I know retinol obviously is like photosensitive, but I'm like, is that a thing? If so, I'm fascinated, and I've talked to all these chemists, and they're like, I've never heard that.
I was gonna say that is not my wheelhouse. But I would not say that FD&C colors are a UV shield. But
Not at all. So this doesn't have any of that in there, and it's like less than half the cost of that other one, and it's amazing. I love this because we were talking about that too with Caroline about. There was this idea sometimes of like ramping up to use really strong retinols. Yeah. And the reaction you get from that, like when I first started using them, because I was using Retin-A, I went through like a month of hell. Yeah. Like a month of hell. My chin was peeling, the corners of my mouth were peeling, my nose was peeling, I felt red and tender and tight, and everyone just kept telling me, stick with it through the month. But I'm like, this will give you the same results as that. This is just going to do it a little slower. Yeah. Like. Exactly. Which I would rather take that than trying to wear mineral makeup and it looks like my skin is sloughing off my face. Yes. Because that's not cute. I'm like, don't mind me, guys. I'm using retinol. They're like, oh my God, are you okay?
Exactly. But I wanted to create something. So it's a 0.2% pure retinol. I am a fan of a lower percentage more often with everything, whether it's retinols or acids, or I just like that slow and steady wins the race because it does. Yeah. And it specifically does with retinol for most people. Yes, there are going to be people who might have other issues where they do need a prescription, which is of course understandable. Yeah. But for your sort of like just maintenance, anti-aging, healthy glowing skin, so it's unscented, there's no dyes, 0.2% retinol, you have the plant-based oils, something that people ask because they say, shouldn't retinol go on? I just addressed this in the video. Shouldn't retinol be the first thing that touches your skin? Well, yeah, you do want the active products to be, a little bit closer to the skin. However, if you're just layering water-soluble serums and then putting this on top, what's happening is you're just slightly buffering it, which again, it isn't a bad thing.
Yeah, no, that's one thing we used to do because it actually gives it a little more, it like helps it calm it down a little bit if you're not used to it. And again, we talk about like go thinnest to thickest consistency. So if you're putting like maybe another oil down on top and then something like this on top, this is probably not going to be as effective because it can't penetrate the other oil underneath. Actually, it could probably mix together, but like you don't want to go on with a heavy silicone-based moisturizer and then try to put this on top because you're not going to get any benefits.
Right, exactly. So, but yes, exactly.
I love that. And so then, I'm saying these names wrong. I don't know why.
So Etoile. So Etoile, I know it's lovely.
It's like hooked on phonics word for me. Man, that really screwed me in the 80s. I'm like, sound it out.
So it's French. It means star in the French language, but it's also the highest rank in a European ballet company. So I just thought it was like a fun,
I like that.
And I like the name, but Etoile. And so this is essentially, it's not to a T, but it's this oil without the retinol. There are a few different things, like there's CoQ10, a touch of vitamin C, again a touch
CoQ10.
for like, CoQ10 is...
It's amazing.
It is.
It stimulates collagen. I don't know why it doesn't get more hype.
No, exactly, and it's a great antioxidant. The color can be a little, like I think sometimes when you want to use it at a certain percent, the color, it's very, very, very bright orange, which is beautiful, but it can stain a little bit. Like when I even mix it in with things, I'm like, oh my God. Yeah. other than that, for the most part, the oils are very similar. I'm trying to think, the order might be slightly different, but they're essentially the same oil. One has, some of antioxidants like the vitamin C, the CoQ10, while this is the retinol.
So I like to use this too during the morning because this is really fast absorbing, and I think this oil would be really good for those with oily skin because it's not one of those really thick oils that's going to cause like an oil slick on your face. Like some of the ones I use when I go to bed at night sometimes, I look like a grease ball when I go to bed, and my skin just drinks it in because it's so dry. Then I'm good in the morning. But this I can layer underneath my makeup. If I have a really matte foundation, I can actually put a few drops in, and it doesn't start doing crazy things because you don't put like silicones and all that stuff and filler and So.
And something too for oily skin, when it says 2 drops, and I know you put 2 drops in your hand, you think like that's not enough. If you warm it up and press it and pat it into the skin and let it go, in a few minutes you will realize that there is enough there to nourish your skin. So
I think sometimes people think droppers.
Exactly.
They're like 2 dropperfuls is drops, drop.
And if your skin feels or looks oily after using a facial oil, you've probably used way too much. It should be the exact opposite.
Yeah.
It should be about balancing, not about like it can be if there's a burn, an issue, something that you want to sort of like help and heal.
Yeah,
and repair.
I mix in like a really thick sea buckthorn oil into my already really thick moisturizer, and then that's what I kind of use as like a moisture mask to go to sleep. So I'm I'm shiny.
Yes. But you're doing that as like sort of a moisture mask treatment.
Because my skin just drinks it in, and now being here with the forced air, with air conditioning, my skin's like, nope, don't like it, so I have to make sure that I'm really stepping up on because San Francisco, the climate was so mild, they never really used heat or air conditioning, so like I really need to make sure that I'm keeping up on all my moisture. This is a newer baby too.
Yes, so this came out at the same time as the balm. I do feel like this is people who love it, and people don't not love it. It's just I think people maybe gravitate more towards the oils or the serums. But what this was, so again, going back to saying that everything's been done before, basically I wanted to I think a lot of people over moisturize their skin.
Because then your skin stops producing.
Exactly.
They talk about I call it the chapstick effect.
When
people talk about that, if you use chapstick all the time, then all of a sudden your lips are dry all the time if you're not using it.
No, so it's your skin sort of becomes lazy. Essentially. Yeah. And so I wanted to create a great, again, unscented sort of happily middle of the road product, really, really lightweight and light wearing on the skin, packed with a 3% blend of 3 different peptides. It has a protective emulsifier in there, which when you put it in, you feel like it's absorbing right in. But then in a second, you have this sort of protective, little bit of barrier protection on there, which is from the sunflower seed wax and the
that's what I was gonna say. After right now, after you rub it in, now if you do feel that little wax that slip to your skin,
which is a little
which makes this really nice actually under makeup because it almost acts like a primer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But what it essentially is a serum tricked into a cream, which it really is. It's squalene is the only there's no oils, that's the only oil. Super lightweight. Green tea water, green tea hydrosol is the base, so light antioxidants from that. You have your sodium hyaluronate, chamomile, olive leaf extract, so soothing and antioxidant protection. But it's basically a serum, and then I was just like, can we make it a little bit creamier? So it's sort of like tricking people into think they're using a moisturizer, which they are, but it's much lighter, and it's helping the skin not to be lazy, but you're getting all the goodness from all those ingredients.
Yeah, it feels good.
It's picking up traction. People are, and don't know when this video is coming out, but we're gonna have sample packets to purchase of the performance cream, the hydrate serum, and the matinee gel cleanser.
That hydrate serum, and it's so good because it's also so cost effective.
That's
one thing. So Jordan is direct to consumers, so he doesn't have to pay the crazy margins that a lot of retailers demand, which are getting crazy. They're getting worse and worse.
Yes.
I'm asking so wait, you won't think my customer should pay to sell their products in your store? I'm like, basically that's what it's coming to.
Yeah, exactly.
Because then they come back and they're like, oh, now every quarter we're going to push back $300,000 in returns on you. You're like,
right.
How did that happen?
Right. And all of a sudden, okay, cool.
No, and that's the beauty of the internet and social media and stuff. You can go direct to consumers because once people start to learn your products, it's like, and if you don't mind me asking, what are your shipping terms on? Do you ship internationally? I know you haven't yet rolled to the UK.
So we do ship internationally. It's just the cost of shipping is unfortunately expensive, and then the customers do unfortunately have to pay any duties on their. But with that being said, we are working aggressively with EU certification right now, and we're into the next step. So we're like still progressing with that. It just takes a while, in hopes to be direct to consumer over in the EU, over in the UK, eventually over in Canada, I don't want to list other countries because people say like, come to this country, come to this, like we would love to, we really would love to. It's just, it's expensive and it's a big undertaking. But we're working on it.
Like, do you have free shipping? Free shipping at what point?
So domestically, there is shipping is $4.50 flat rate, and then it's free shipping over $50. Which is great. And then there is also, while the shipping is expensive, but it seems like a lot of you in Australia have sort of figured it out, and you group order, which is awesome if you can, because there is flat international shipping, and it only goes up to $25. So people are doing these huge orders, but the shipping cap's at $25. So it actually makes it very reasonable for them. So we do ship internationally, not to every country. We're trying to. Sometimes there's just issues. And other times there's been issues that we have had, which have been costly to us. So we sort of had to press pause on that for now, but we're working through all of that.
Well, cool. Yes. Now, if you don't mind me asking, because I get this question a lot too, now with all the products on in front of you here that you have, what would you recommend for someone like for an AM, say they have dry skin, for an AM routine, what would you go in if they came in to see you?
Dry skin, AM routine, after show treatment cleanser, for sure.
And would you take that off with like your cloth, right?
Yeah, you could for dry skin, you could do either. Cloth is like, because they are plush, it's microfiber, it's not like really irritating the skin, it's acting like a magnet, but they could simply rinse if they want it, but that probably
I always like doing that better too, because in the morning too, I don't necessarily wash my hair every morning. So I don't like to splash the water in my face, so this makes it way easier.
That's an excellent point. So yes, but these two for sure. And then you could go in with a combination of, for sure, dry skin, if you can, the mist and then the serum. Just start getting that like hydration, true hydration and nourishment in the skin. Hyaluronic acid, aloe, glycerin, super soothing. And then you could simply seal it with an oil. And I would just do either the performance cream and the Étoile facial oil. You could mix them. I mean, which some people love doing. Of course, I'm all about less is more. So I'd probably do one or the other, and then follow up with your SPF or makeup application.
And which one would you recommend for them to put on first? For the layer.
So it gets tricky because of how this cream is. It depends, and that's the thing. It is thinnest to thickest, and where it gets weird is with oils, because sometimes depending on there's moisturizers that are more like balms, and then it really doesn't matter, and then there's really watered down moisturizers where the oil really should go after that, because otherwise it's not. So with this, I would do cream, and you also better get the peptides on the skin, and then seal it with the oil, or simply mix the two together. And then follow up with your SPF and then anything else. But that's an extreme routine, but a really great...
Extreme. I have like 19 steps. But he's even tired. He's like, it's too much steps, too much.
But that is great for dry skin. You're really, really hydrating and nourishing and layering, and getting peptides and antioxidants, and you're getting a lot of goodness.
Everything you need.
Everything you need other than sun protection. For sure.
So what about for a nighttime routine for those with dry skin? What would you recommend? So like someone that wears SPF or makeup, or would you recommend, because I know I get that question a lot, like if it's a woman or man that doesn't wear any makeup, would you say just go right to one of the other cleansers, or would you recommend using the balm with dry skin?
Yes. So I don't want to say either or because that sounds so generic, but either or. I mean, truly, if you could do whatever. Again, if it is a drier skin, this can be your one and done. If you're not wearing SPF and makeup, if you are, starting here is great. And then you could either go in you could really go in with both cleansers, but a true dry skin, lipid dry skin, start with the balm, go in again with the do with the two after show cleansers, just to really have like, you're going to be protecting your barrier and you're going to be hydrating.
And same thing. With the cloth.
Exactly. So that would be for the cleansing process. And then I really would go probably back with the same
well, no, people love to hear that too, because they don't want to hear that they need 97 products.
No, exactly. Like, we're doing basically the same exact thing, so except SPF, but the hydrate mist, the hydrate serum, and then you're going to go in with...
I love that retinol.
I know, the retinol for sure. And depending on how you're feeling, and when you start cleansing properly too, you're probably going to need less, which is a wonderful thing, so maybe this is all you need. or you can do it now with this. Just because of the retinol, I like mixing these two for sure together, not layering.
Okay.
You can layer if you want. But to really just get a little bit more bang for your buck with the retinol, a few drops of this in with the cream and apply that over that hydration sandwich, and you'll be.
Now, since your retinol isn't super aggressive, do you think that they should wait? Because there's always that rule where they think you should give like 20, 30 minutes for your skin.
So with this,
active.
With this, no.
Yeah, because it's gentle.
It's gentle. And I don't go as crazy, like, for me, like, if I'm doing, like, maybe I do, like, a salicylic acid, like the Paula's Choice 2% BHA, which I love for my skin. I'll wait, like, a minute or two just to have it dry, but then I'll go in with. I don't. As long as it's dry, you're fine. Yeah. Unless it gets really extreme with higher percentages.
Yeah, no, for me, for my Retin-A, I'm like, I had to wait 20 minutes.
And, Retin-A, yes.
And people weren't understanding, too. They were putting it on their skin while it was still damp. I'm like, no, it's even more. It's like the water on your skin is driving it deeper, and it's like so much more irritation. And so many people, I'm surprised, say, my doctor never told me that. I had no idea. I'm like, oh.
Renee Rouleau, awesome facialist down in Austin area. She has said that skin is 10% more permeable when damp, which is true. And so that's great for certain things, like, you do the hydrate mist, and while it's damp, then you apply the hydrate serum and you get that hydration. However, doing that something like a retinol or an acid, you're just going to exacerbate any sensitivities or any irritation you have. So.
No. Yeah. Okay, so now what about somebody that has oily skin? What would you say for the morning?
Okay, oily skin. For sure, the Matinee Gel Cleanser, 100%. A great cleanse that's not going to strip the skin, so you're going to feel clean, but you're not going to be stripped, which at first might be, unique to you, but over time, you're going to have that balance. Again, it's about balance, which isn't always like, it is like, life's about balance, but it's true. And with skin, you don't, Narrative Joy always says you can't, you can foam away as much oil as you want, but oil's coming from the inside out. So there's like, you're just going to be drying your skin and overproducing oil. So gentle, but water-soluble cleansing. For sure this. And then for oily skin, not that I want to like make you more afraid of the oils, but I would just do the same thing, like hydrate mist and then the hydrate serum, or even just the hydrate serum. And just a light layer of the performance cream. For a true oily skin, that's going to be great. You're going to feel protected. You're not going to feel like... And you'll feel again, I hate to go back to the word balance, but
that's what everybody wants, because their skin starts producing way too much. We've talked about this in some videos. Some people are like, I thought my oily skin needed no moisturizer, so they were never putting it on. And they're like, when I started doing it, for like the first couple of days, I noticed my skin to be like more oily, but now they're like, it's balancing itself out.
And if you're like really, 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 really oily rich, which there's so few of, but you're out there. I know, I see you. Honestly, and you're not in a super dry climate, you could be fine with just the hydrate mist and the hydrate serum, and then go with your SPF. But you do need something to protect the skin. Whether it's a gel, whether it's a moisturizer, whether it is an oil, but you need something to protect the skin. As well as SPF. But you do need to have that protection. So but yes, those would be my oily favorites. Oily skin for night.
I'm sorry, that's what I meant. Oily skin for night. I'm like, I'm being selfish. Me again. Talk about me.
So two things. You could either do after show treatment cleanser, first cleanse if you're wearing makeup and SPF, and then follow up with the Matinee Gel Cleanser. Or you could do a 2-time Matinee Gel Cleanser. You really have to use enough product with this one if you're wearing makeup and SPF, and use the cloth for sure. But if you're not afraid of oil cleansing for oily skin, for sure this will take care of your SPF and your makeup, and then just go in with the Matinee Cleanser. That's a perfect cleanse, perfect double cleanse for evening for an oily skin. And then oily skin, it would be, again, very, very similar. Hydrate mist, hydrate serum, for sure. And then either the performance cream, or even just then, I would skip the performance cream and do a few drops of the A12 with retinol. You have your vitamin A. It's super, super lightweight. You won't need a lot of it. You'll get, big bang for your buck. You'll be using 2 to 3 drops over top of the hydrate mist and hydrate serum. Again, at this point, if you're using the retinol, let those 2 dry, please. And then this. Again, because it is gentle, if it's damp, it'll probably be fine, but God forbid, just let it dry. Let it dry.
And you know what, while I have you here, since you're a pro, I would love if you could explain to people, because I get those questions all the time, like, what does retinol do? Like, what is that going to do for your skin?
Okay, so retinol, vitamin A, it is speeding up cell turnover, which, as we age, it slows down. It is then helping produce healthier cells. It is stimulating collagen and elastin. It's lessening the depth of wrinkles. It's helping if there is pigmentation, again, because we're speeding up that cell turnover. You're helping to lighten and brighten the skin, even out the skin tone. It can help with some scarring. Again, I'm talking retinol in general, not necessarily that product. But vitamin A, it really is. It was discovered sort of effectively for other things outside of acne in the 90s, maybe 80s, 90s. 1990s, not. And it's just amazing. So where people tend to think that retinol exfoliates, and it's the easiest way to say it does because of what it's doing.
It causes inflammation, right?
But
which it kind of sends that SOS to your skin to help repair it.
And it's speeding up cell turnover. So while it is pushing those new, fresher, healthier cells out into the forefront, it's not removing the dead skin like an acid would or a scrub would. So yes, it's an easy thing to say it's exfoliating, but no, it's not. It's a myth to think that it is an exfoliator for the skin. You still need to exfoliate when you're using a retinol.
Now, what about for people that use something like P50 or something, or that they're using an acid? Is it okay to use like P50 in the morning and then the retinol at night?
Yes. So, and actually, because the retinol is gentle, there are a lot of people, and again, proceed with caution, but there are a lot of people that do P50, let it dry, and do whatever else they do, and then go with the retinol in the same routine. Which because it is a gentle retinol, it is totally fine. But again, proceed with caution. It might not be an every night thing, or it could be. But a P50 in the AM and a gentle retinol, mine in the PM is great too. And that's actually a favorite of mine, is like an acid AM. So yes, proceed with caution, but P50 and my retinol, the 0.2%, 0.2%, in the same routine is even fine. So you would do the P50, let it dry, go about the rest of the routine, and then... And it works great. Again, not everybody's going to be able to do that. Not everybody's going to be able to do that all the time, but a lot can.
Yeah.
But at the very least, doing something like a P50 or an acid in the AM, and then my 12th retinol in the PM, because it is gentle, it's great. And it's a great way to strengthen those dermal layers, stimulate the collagen, stimulate the elastin, have that thicker, firmer, healthier dermal layer, which is what we want.
What I love about that too is that if I start seeing like blemishes too, it helps clear that up for me without giving me those dry patches, since I have dry skin anyway. It's like that month that we're talking about on Retin-A was not fun. I was using mineral makeup, and it was literally like I was just peeling. I looked like the lizard man or something, and it's just it's harsh. It's harsh. And so that's why I stepped down. Some people are telling me, you have to use it every single day for the rest of your life. I'm like, no, because I've got my skin where I want it, and I don't want it to be too thin. Like, I don't want it to...
And that's a real thing. That's a real thing. Especially with retin-A, you can thin the skin. It is like not great.
Yeah, no, and that's stay away from waxing and things too.
Oh, and it's
so many people don't know that. They're like, I got a really bad burn. I'm like, you can't wax. I'm like, you could pluck or thread, but no waxing.
It was one of my worst experiences ever. I actually, when I was waxing somebody's eyebrows years and years ago, I lifted skin, and it was because they had failed to tell me that they were on a retin-A.
Yeah.
They'd done the paperwork and not mentioned it there where we asked for it.
Yeah.
And then I'd done a verbal sort of intake. They had failed to mention it. And maybe they were thinking nothing was going to happen, but their skin got lifted. And I knew that they were like bummed, but they also knew that
they're like, I lied. I tried to pull a fast one.
So it's very, 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 very true.
Yes.
Don't do it.
So let me ask you this now. Do you have any new products in the works or any ideas that you're...
So a few things. So we're really, because we are direct to consumer, we're trying to make easier ways for more people to have accessibility to the product. So we're doing some sample sizes, hopefully eventually of everything, starting out with a few. Larger sizes of some fan favorites. That's going to be sort of the bulk of the year. I am working on a signature perfume, which I know is outside the skincare
we talked about that at dinner.
Very good.
Yes. And tell them where your inspiration for that was.
So that was from my first, so I moved away from home to New York City at 15 to study ballet, and the first time I went to New York State Theater at Lincoln Center in New York, it was just the experience of going into the ballet and seeing these women dressed to the nines and these men dressed in these tuxedos and smelling amazing and drinking martinis and everything that like I love now. But at the time it was a whole new world, and it just, there was this aroma and energy and sense in the theater that like we try to encapsulate into this perfume, and it's with DS and Durga, and David, who's the perfumer at DS and Durga, is a genius, and he hit it out of the park.
I don't even know where to begin on something like that. You're just like so many different senses. You're like, I don't even know how to describe it. Yeah.
Exactly, and I didn't know how to describe it. And he said things like where they have Altoids, did like their breath smell like alcohol. You know, it was things that were so often weird. But and it's not, the perfume doesn't smell like somebody's alcohol.
No, but it makes sense because all these little things, like maybe it was little hints of mint that you got, or little sense of tobacco.
He nailed it, and so it was very, very interesting. And then. Yes, there are a few other things, not for this year, but there is a mask that is completed, which is awesome.
Yay.
There is, and we are tweaking one of the products, which I feel like I can probably actually talk about now. But so it's a toile is going to be, the original one is going to be turned into a oil barrier repair cream, which is, and so basically very, very similar, just in cream form, unscented. Cranberry seed oil, rosehip oil, cranberry seed butter, just a little bit more nourishing, barrier repairing, and then we're going to possibly then tweak the original formula of a toile, make it even better. Because there's no point for me in just having a redundant product and doing a new oil.
Yeah.
I would rather go back to the drawing board and say like, oh.
Yeah, because that's already such a good oil. You're like, a few things I'd like to tweak.
And it's so weird to say that like new oils are coming out, because new oils are not coming out. They've been around for, you know, thousands of years. But we're now discovering certain things like, we can extract this oil from this plant and it's stable, and so then I get fascinated by that and want to play around with it and look at it, and that's how.
Yeah, and the blends are really nice because they play well. And I like it because that's not super thick. Like I have some oils out, because I'm going to do a full review of the line. I know I've done it on Instagram, but where I can put some drops of the oil where you can see one that's like gloopy and like so if you have oily skin, that's probably not going to be for you, or if you don't like that texture on your skin, that's not going to be for you. So that is really fast absorbing. And we will be keeping it that way too. So that's sort of like a deal breaker for us. Like it won't come out until it's in that. We're not going to change again the whole complete oil to this thick. Well, I like the idea too of kind of like a gel, like a cream serum, because sometimes oils aren't the easiest for some people to work with. Well, and that's because then it starts slipping through their fingers and they get it on the back. So sometimes it's a little more user friendly to have it like that, and it's easier to travel with too. And that's what we wanted. Yeah, we wanted the same sort of result, and the same like unscented, soothing, non-irritating product. But we wanted to make it a little bit easier for more people to sort of get on with that. So that's what's next for us. Yay, I'm so excited. Well, I know that you have to catch a flight. It's actually dinner. It's dinner. Oh, it's dinner. Okay, then I don't even feel But dinner reservations. He's like, I just have to be in an Uber by 4. I'm like... Because I saw how long it takes to get back to West Hollywood. Yeah, no. I didn't realize I thought it was like... How long did it take you to get here? An hour. Oh, that's not even that bad. No, it's not. But I was like, and it looks like an hour and a half going back, which is fine. Yeah, no, sometimes it's because of the beach. Everyone for Memorial Day was coming this way, and then some people might be going back home now. So you're like, no, the 405 makes me want to kill people. That's why it's easy sitting in the back of the car and just like... Yeah, no, the stuff I've said on the highway since I've moved here, I'm going to hell for sure. I can only imagine. I don't even think I can take it back. The stuff that spews out of my mouth, I'm like, I'd make a sailor proud. I think both you and I would. Yeah, I don't have the patience for it. I'm like, I need an animal tranquilizer before I go. I'm like, anybody have a dart to the neck I can take so I can just like woosah and have a nice playlist? It's true. Like you really, it's sort of the like ultimate exercise in patience. I can't tell you how many times I mouth the. What is going on? No, that's the one. I love it down here, but I don't know if I could do that. But I do. But look at it; it's amazing. It is pretty. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and guys, I'm going to have Jordan's website linked below, and then I will be doing a full review as well. So actually, I probably am going to be working on this soon. So I'm going to have this one up first, and then my full review of the products and which ones are my favorite and how I layer them and how I work them as well. Because I actually love to rotate the matinee and the after show every morning. Yes. Because then I feel like I'm getting like the pore cleansing and then a little more of the moisturizing, and I can keep going back and forth and a little bit of the exfoliation. So I'm like, I'm getting it all. I love it. It's true. It's good. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please leave them in the comment section down below. Jordan is very active on social media. If you guys have any questions for him on his page, and I'm sure if you ask any questions below, he will be more than happy to answer as he can get to them. Absolutely. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye.